So glad to have you join us on Nationwide today. I am Nina Daniels. In furtherance of its resolve to ensure safety and security for students and teachers in areas affected by insurgency, banditry and other security challenges, the Senate has set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the Safe School initiative. The 13-member ad hoc committee is tasked with investigating the funding and expenditure of the initiative from when it was launched in 2014. Senate took the decision last week following the abduction of students in Kebbi State, as it wondered how the security breach occurred with the initiative in place. Meanwhile, Senate has taken the first reading of the Terrorism Act Amendment Bill as it pushes for death sentence without option of fine on kidnapping and all other terrorism-related offenses. Senate has confirmed the appointment of Ayo Omidira as chairman and the 37 others as commissioners for the Federal Character Commission. The federal government condemns strongly the military coup in Guinea-Bissau, leading to what it terms the unconstitutional change of government that threatens regional stability. A statement by the Minister of Foreign Affairs states that the coup represents a blatant violation of ECOWAS protocols on democracy and good governance, which explicitly rejects any ascension to power through unconstitutional means. The Nigerian government therefore calls on the authorities in Guinea-Bissau to ensure the immediate and unconditional restoration of constitutional order, guarantee the safety and security of all those detained, particularly election observers still in the country on official assignment. The statement urges all actors to exercise restraint, respect the will of the people, and allow the electoral process to conclude peacefully, and prioritize peaceful dialogue and respect the will of the people of Guinea-Bissau. The federal government demands that perpetrators be held accountable, while reaffirming to work closely with ECOWAS and the African Union, regional and international partners, and ensuring peace and stability across the African continent. 3 key sectors of trade, agriculture and environment are being used by ECOWAS to redefine its regional interjection and integration objectives. To this end, officials from these departments at the ECOWAS Commission are meeting in Abuja to work out strategies that will enable citizens of member states benefit and collaborate more from programs pertaining to these sectors. Kelvin Ehuanaye reports.
Few countries in West Africa produce surplus food, yet many citizens in the sub-region are still food insecure because what is produced is not effectively distributed or moved across borders. While ECOWAS is determined to enhance a more integrated regional market, expanding the scope of agriculture and food supply is on the table. One of the strategies being considered is the activation of the ECOWAS e-commerce platform to pull informal traders across member states together and do business more.
Fertilizer remains the single most expensive input for farmers, yet no other input exerts greater influence on yield, productivity, and national food output. When fertilizer prices rises, the cost of production increases. When fertilizer quality is compromised, productivity declines sharply.
The success of these programs depends on the collaboration between governments, private sector, civil society, and development partners.
The documents that will emanate from these engagements are expected to facilitate ECOWAS ambition of prosperity for all citizens by 2050. In Abuja, Kelvin Ehuanaye, NTA News.
The Southern Governors Forum has resolved to establish a zonal security fund with member states contributing to a dedicated pool to support regional security operations and enhance capacity building across the region. Hakeem Jimo reports that in a communique at the end of its emergency meeting, the forum also agreed to institutionalize a monthly zonal security coordination meeting.
The Southern Governors Forum made a case for joint action against crime in the region and for the decentralization of policing in Nigeria to secure schools, farmlands, border towns, and the entire country.
A dedicated regional rapid response fund will also be essential for emergency interventions, for forensic support and interstate training. At the state level, measures such as mandatory documentation of foreign nationals, dismantling of unlawful enclaves, regulating scavenger activities, intensified forest operations, and a crackdown on illegal mining must be pursued with renewed vigor.
The forum commended the efforts of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's economic reforms and his prompt response to the release of the recently abducted students in some states of the Federation. They also met with first-class traditional rulers from across the region to brainstorm on national security and chart the way forward for effective community policing.
To pass a vote of confidence to our president, to let him know that he's not alone in this issue. It's an issue that concerns all of us, either from the north or from the south.
They resolved to share ideas to stimulate economic growth for overall development. From Ikperu in Ogun State, Akim Jimo, NTA News.
And going back to reports on Guinea-Bissau, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to use all diplomatic means to ensure a safe return of former President Goodluck Jonathan from Guinea-Bissau following a military coup in that country. Adopting a motion raised by House Leader Julius Ihobere, the House notes that the government is aware that the former president is on official assignment to monitor elections in Guinea-Bissau before the military struck, leaving Goodluck Jonathan and others on the mission trapped in the West African country. Lawmakers call for necessary steps to be taken to ensure their security and safe return.
Our goal is to urge the government not to relent in that effort, to use all diplomatic means at its disposal to get our former president, a true Democrat, back to Nigeria immediately.
He is trapped outside Nigeria, and like we have been discussing on the floor of this chamber, the security of lives of Nigeria should matter to us.
National Assembly correspondent Mitairo Ikpen reports that the House at Thursday's plenary continued debate on national security with far-reaching recommendations from lawmakers.
If by today, this hour, in a remote place in Nigeria, NSA or DSS is being abused through a video, they will go after that person and track their location. Why is this one so difficult to track?
The United Arab Emirates has released names of terrorist sponsors. In this country, the names of these sponsors are yet to be released to face justice. The question is, what message are we passing?
These are not just mere debtors or numbers. These are humans. These are lives. People that we swore an oath to protect. And something has to be done, Mr. Speaker, to strengthen border control, to curb arms trafficking and movement of criminal groups.
Some of the conversations that you're having in this room reflected in the declaration of Mr. President.
Kidnapping, murder, robbery, these cases cannot wait years. States must have the power to prosecute swiftly. Justice delayed has become justice denied in too many cases.
And on a sad note, prominent Islamic scholar Sheikh Dahiru Osman Bauchi has passed away. Family sources say he passed peacefully at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital in the early hours of this Thursday at 101 years. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu mourns the late leader of Tijaniya Muslim Brotherhood, Sheikh Dahiru Osman Bauchi, at 101 years, describing him as a moral compass who dedicated his life to teaching and preaching. President Tinubu says Sheikh Bauchi's loss is monumental not only to his family and teeming followers, but also to the nation. The president recalls the blessings and moral support he received from the late Sheikh in the runoff to the 2023 election, describing him as a teacher, a father and a voice of moderation and reason, and an advocate of peace and piety. He also urges the late cleric's followers to immortalize him by holding on to his teachings of peaceful coexistence. Let's now cross over to Bauchi to get the general mood of the people as we link up with Muazu Hassan at the residence of the celebrated supreme leader of the Tijaniya in Nigeria. Hello, it's over to you.
Well, thank you. We are right here at the residence of Sheikh Tahir Usman Bauchi. And since the announcement of his date, as his family, students, and indeed the people of Bauchi State have been thrown into mourning session. And right now, the sympathizers from across the country and indeed some African countries has begun to troop to his residence to pay their last respect to the late Sheikh Tahir Usman Bauchi. With me here as the Director Information of Sheikh Tahir Usman Bauchi. Like here, the situation currently now is that you have seen our morning. We have already recitation of the Quran.
Oh, we apologize for that poor visuals right there. We hope to rejoin Muazu much later in the bulletin. Moving on, the federal government has terminated some major road projects in Kogi State, citing poor and stalled progress on key sections. At a press briefing in Abuja, representatives of the Minister of Works, Director of Information and Public Relations, Mohammed Ahmed, says the decision was taken after a review meeting between the minister and selected contractors handling critical federal road projects in the state. The minister expresses displeasure over the alarming disparity between contract timelines and actual work done, and pointed to some of the mutually terminated contracts in different sections of the Abuja Lokoja, Shintaku Dakina, and Okene Ajekuta roads in Kogi State. These include the provision of culverts and drainages along the sections 2 of Abuja Lokoja Road, the rehabilitation of Abuja Lokoja Section 4A, and the reconstruction of the Okene Ajekuta Itobe Road. Others include the rehabilitation of Lokoja Shintaku Dakina Aimba Road and Abuja Lokoja Flooded Section 4B.
The project was awarded on 13 July 2024 and only 33.79% completed, with 131.15% time elapsed. The officer has directed as follows. Mutual termination of the contract based on fusion of time. The Honourable Minister apologizes to all road users on the Abuja-Lokoja Expressway to bear with the ministry on the inconveniences they are experiencing on the road due to the multiple intervention projects that are ongoing, and assure that work will soon be completed.
The minister also directs that all outstanding works, including those from mutually terminated contracts across the Abuja-Lokoja corridor, be compiled for immediate emergency intervention. He, however, disclosed that all contractors whose contracts were terminated would not receive fresh funding, and any further work undertaken must be strictly within the limits of advance payments already received. President Bola Tinubu has approved special funding to upgrade Nigerian Airspace Management Agency's equipment, moving the agency's procurement from the regular budget to a dedicated fund. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, made the revelation at a quarterly stakeholders engagement. Ladibala has the details.
The minister's announcement underscores the federal government's commitment to modernizing Nigeria's aviation infrastructure, with the special funds set to accelerate the upgrade of NAMA's equipment.
The Mr. President has graciously agreed to get special funding outside the budget to upgrade the equipment now, and so we have that. that special funding and will also access the funds.
The Nigerian Airspace Management Agency has also granted 4 airports approval to operate up to 10 p.m. The airports are Eula International Airport, Sir Mbakwe International Cargo Airport, Owerri, General Tunde Idiagbon International Airport, Ilori, and Akanri Ibiam International Airport in Enugu. This decision follows calls from stakeholders to extend flight hours beyond the current Abuja-Lagos schedule.
We upgraded communication equipment with 4 additional airports and additional equipment in 2 more airports. We have been able to install instrument landing system, which is meant for international flight. That is why we don't see delays in landing most of the time and delays in departure.
NAMA has also established a fully functional flight calibration unit for checking navigational aid and validating instrument approach procedures. In Abuja, Ladibala, NTA News.
Let's now head back to Bauchi, where Muazu is standing by with more on the late Supreme Leader.
Thank you. As we are saying, the situation here of the residents of Sheikh Tahir Usman Bauchi is that the people are in mourning station, and as it is right now, his followers, students from across the country and indeed African countries and the whole world have started trooping to his residence to pay their last respect to him. And with me here is one of the director information of Sheikh Tahir Usman Bauchi in person of Ahmad Muhammad. We're going to tell us the situation as it is now in respect to the preparation ahead of the funeral prayer. So what is the situation like, President?
So the situation as present is actually people are coming into Bauchi in order for the funeral prayer of Maulana Sheikh, which is expected to take place tomorrow after Jumat prayer. Because Maulana Sheikh, when he was alive, he left a will. And it is that will that we are trying to pin. That was the reason why we shifted his funeral prayer to tomorrow. Because he left a will that actually if he died, we should inform Maulana Sheikh Sharif Ibrahim Saleh, Chairman Patwa Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs, that he will come and lead his funeral prayer. And so we get in touch with Maulana Sheikh Sharif Ibrahim Saleh Al-Hussein, and he said he will be in Bauchi inshallah tomorrow by 10 o'clock. So immediately after Jumat prayer around 2 o'clock, definitely funeral prayer of Maulana Sheikh is going to take place. And we learned that so many guests from within and outside the country are also on their way to Bauchi to attend the funeral prayer of the scholar.
So what are the things that you remembering Sheikh with?
We remember Sheikh with the kind of discipline he taught us, especially the discipline, fear of Allah. He also instilled the discipline of memorization of the Holy Quran among his children and disciples. That's why you will see every year, you will see more than 3,000 people memorize the Holy Quran from his school because of the discipline. And he has over 77 children, all of them memorize the Holy Quran. And thousands of his disciples also memorize the Holy Quran. And people will remember Sheikh on how he have over 1,000 houses, but all the houses he has, people are living in that houses free. And people will also remember Sheikh for his gesture, especially when he taught the people how to seek forgiveness in remembrance of Allah. He taught the people how to love the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam by offering salawat to him every day, and he told of people how to be glorifying the name of Allah every day in their daily affairs. So Sheikh will be remembered with these legacies.
Thank you, sir. May his soul rest in peace. So that is the situation here in Bauchi, the residents of Sheikh Tahir Usman Bauchi. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Muazu. Indeed, Sheikh will be sorely missed. Thank you for those updates. And the Tertiary Education Trust Fund is transforming universities and polytechnics into more focused institutions capable of solving societal problems. The Chairman Board of Trustees, TED Fund, Aminu Bello Masari, stated this at a TED Fund Board of Trustees town hall meeting held in Lagos. Now before Woye has the details.
The Chairman Board of Trustees, TED Fund,
Aminu Bello Masari, an executive secretary, Sunday Echeno, said in recent years, particularly in 2024/2025 intervention, Third Fund has intensified efforts towards improving the quality, relevance, and global competitiveness of universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education.
What we're doing is to improve the learning experience of our scholars by encouraging, first, a total overhaul of curriculum to make them more relevant to the needs of today's workforce.
Third Fund is far more than a funding agency. It's a generator of public value, a catalyst for human capital development, an engine of innovation, and a critical pillar in Nigeria's quest for knowledge-driven growth. We must create problem solvers. These are well-bred individuals who are not mere memorizers of information or idea, but people who excel at transforming knowledge into solution.
From us in Lagos State, we want to thank Third Fund for leading that space, for making our tertiary educations comply with the United Nations standard when it comes to assessing tertiary education.
Nigeria is blessed. We have all the necessary raw materials for development. But what we need, we have to use our intellectual capacity.
Adding that innovation and research are key to socio-economic development of the country. In Lagos, Mwabufomoye, NTA News.
We're still staying in Lagos as we cross over to John Adams for more reports from that part. Hello, Hengino. It's over to you.
Thank you, Mina, and welcome to Lagos. The implementation of 100% examination of all goods passing through the Murtala Mohammed Command of Nigeria Customs has been identified as a critical point responsible for the successful performance of the command. Customs Area Controller Michael Awe revealed this while displaying a large number of illicit drugs that were intercepted with other prohibited items by the command. Bolaji Akin completes the story.
The effects and impacts of illicit drugs in the country is a menace the nation is grappling with. It will have been an additional negative impact, but for the alertness and eagle eyes of the Nigeria Customs Murtala Mohammed Command that intercepted this large consignment of drugs and other contraband items before it could get to the public.
Border, seaports, and the airport. Particularly MMAC here, no tolerance for this type of unlawful items.
Briefing newsmen on the performance of the command in the last 11 months, Area Controller Michael Awe said the command, in its quest to carry out its mandate to boost revenue generation, facilitate trade and suppress smuggling, recorded an outstanding performance when compared with previous years by achieving 100.1% of its annual revenue targets.
Murtala Mohammed Area Command generated a total of 179 billion, 910 million, 971,102 naira and 81 kobo from custom duties and related charges.
While efforts are still ongoing to hand over the intercepted drugs and other items to the appropriate agencies, the area controller assured that the command remains firmly committed to deepening stakeholders' collaboration. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army College of Logistics and Management, NACOM, has just concluded a significant combined final exercise for its graduating students in Lagos. Lynn Leneke reports that the exercise, which ran from November 18 to 28, 2025, marked a major milestone as the first time NACOM has conducted a combined exercise involving 3 distinct courses.
Commanding 9 Mechanized Division has issued his operation orders, and our brigade commander has equally issued his operation orders.
In practice and truth to its name, Ishok, meaning teamwork in Yoruba, reflects the core theme of the groundbreaking exercise, bringing together participating students from 3 distinct courses of the Nigerian Army College of Logistics and Management. The exercise exposed the officers to the delivery of orders and planning, as well as execution of the phases of war. A key focus for providing logistic support for counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency operations, aligning with the national commitment to tackle insecurity. The General Officer Commanding 81 Division, Major General Farouk Mijinyawa, who was represented by the 81 Division Training Officer, Brigadier General Usman, emphasized the need for Army personnel and officers to adopt rigorous training, which is crucial for building a more professional Army. Special guest of honor, Major General Martins Inendo, retired, and the commandant of the school agreed that the introduction of new innovations and the need for students to always situate and relate every aspect of their brief as real-world scenarios is apt in the present day.
What we have witnessed here today is part of our statutory training, okay, as soldiers. It's the preparation we need so that we can do what we need to do when we get to the field.
The Nigerian College of Logistics has continued to reiterate the importance of adding value in all their endeavors and maintain a general idea of all assigned tasks. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
That's it from Lagos. Nationwide will continue with Umar Ajengi in Kaduna after the break.
Heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And
Center, Central Business District, Abuja.
Don't miss the service of 9 lessons and paroles live on FRCN, NTA, and VON.
Join us and celebrate the true meaning of Christmas.
Joining us here in Kaduna, the Emir of Zazo Ahmad Nuhu Bamali has called for more collaboration between Nigeria and France to enhance key sectors of the country's economy. The Emir was speaking when he received the French ambassador to Nigeria in his palace.
Envoy, accompanied by some diplomats, were at the palace of the Emir of Zauzau, Malam Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, to discuss how Nigeria and France will tie their long-existing relationship. Emir of Zauzau, Malam Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, called on the French envoy to strengthen the bilateral relationship between Nigeria and France in the area of education, agriculture, and security. Speaking earlier, the France ambassador to Nigeria, Marc von Bauster, expressed dissatisfaction of the incessant security challenges in the north, noting that collaborative effort is required to address the menace.
Insecurity is unfortunately spreading over. People are not willing to shape despite your actions. So France has to stick together with the north of Nigeria to show its solidarity, to show its commitment, because we look for a prosperous, peaceful, serene Nigeria.
He called for a multifaceted approach in dealing with the situation, promising strong partnership in the area of agriculture and environmental sustainability. A mini Durbar was organized in honor of the diplomat, King Gods. NT News.
The federal government has reiterated its commitment to strengthening the nation's response and control to infectious diseases to minimize its challenges. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pati, made the commitment at the annual general meeting of the Nigerian Infectious Diseases Society held in Kaduna. Aruna Muhammad reports.
A routine resilient health system in a changing world, confronting emerging and endemic infection disease threat in Nigeria, the minister, who was represented by the Chief Medical Director of Ira Hospital, Edo State, Professor Ruben Agbons Efidie, the minister reaffirms the federal government determination to safeguarding citizens' health by preventing infectious disease.
Nigerian government of today regard health as part of national development, and as such, they are investing not only increase budget allocation to health institutions, agencies, and departments, but creating initiatives. So the essence is that we need to raise the awareness and sensitize our members that infectious disease remain a global threat and public health concern.
Speakers emphasized the need for a stronger collaboration, improved funding, and sustained public health awareness to safeguard communities.
Because we also want to reach out to industry for collaboration and the technology for some of the newer platforms for these drugs, for the vaccines, come from industry. So we want to partner with industry.
I've seen professionals, I've seen consultants, I've seen like minds like me that would help me robust and boost my interest in infectious diseases, internal medicine.
Recommendations that will support national and subnational initiatives for a healthier, secured population is expected at the end of the deliberation. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
And as our contributions from this end nationwide continues in our Abuja studio. Thank you for watching.
Thank you indeed, Mohammed. Welcome back to Abuja. The Saudi Arabia's King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center has flagged off a specialized cochlear implant and hearing rehabilitation program in Abuja. Sawa Khalil Ibrahim reports that this is in a major humanitarian intervention at treating severe hearing loss among Nigerian children.
Hearing is one of the greatest gifts to mankind. While some are blessed with it, others are either born or develop hearing impairment. Now, the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center, in collaboration with Nigeria's Health Authority, is giving 30 children another chance to hear through cochlear implant surgery at the National Hospital, Abuja.
The emotional torture that comes with having a child that can't hear, and then having a solution to it, they have brought relief, comfort, and support.
The sponsor and Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Nigeria says the program reflects the Kingdom's dedication to supporting vulnerable communities and strengthening health systems in friendly nations.
So I think it's a welcome development compared to before that she cannot hear. But I think she can pick a sound now. So from there, from the gradual process, it will end up to normal, healthy life.
The program offers a complete chain of care, including diagnosis, surgery follow-up, auditory therapy, and speech rehabilitation, representing a life-changing step for beneficiaries and their families. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
And moving on, the Yakubu Gowon and Laminga water treatment plant site has officially been handed over to contractors for immediate rehabilitation. This is in fulfillment of the mandate of the management of Jos Water Services Cooperation and Project Implementation Unit in providing clean and safe potable water within Jos Bukuru Metropolis. Ndeyang and Diabagyang reports.
The Yakubu Gowon and Laminga water treatment plants have been functioning for the past 4 decades, meeting the potable water needs of the people. However, due to population explosion and inadequate maintenance, the water treatment plants are unable to function optimally. In view of the role of water in human survival, the Plateau State government recently signed a contract agreement with 2 companies for the complete rehabilitation of the 2 major water treatment plants in the state.
It is a collaboration between the Plateau State government and the FD. In fact, at the end of it, what you expect from rehabilitation process is almost a brand new facility that you have.
Our best to do a top quality job and finish on time. Very honored and glad to officially taken over the site from MD and PC of Laminga treatment plant.
The rehabilitation work has a completion period of 13 months. In Jos, Ndenyan and Diabagyang, NTA News.
Well, gladly, we'll still have Ndiyang here very much around with us to tell us more about the rehabilitation of these water treatment plants in Plateau State and the future of the provision of potable water in that axis. Let's hear from you, Ndiyang.
Thank you and welcome to Jos. We are at the sedimentation basin of the Laminga treatment plant, one of the plants that has been scheduled for rehabilitation. This rehabilitation was actually started by previous government, but the present administration took it up with renewed vigor. The project, which is known as the Plateau State Urban Water Supply, is a partnership between the Plateau State government and the French Development Agency. The process, as you heard in the report, started 2 weeks ago with the signing of contract, and the contract sum is about 13 billion naira for the two projects. And the project will see to the complete overhauling of the two water treatment plants. The work is expected to start in December this year. At completion of the rehabilitation, both the Yakubu Gawan treatment plant and the Laminga treatment plant will provide 90 million liters of water daily to communities in Plateau State. I spoke with the managing director of the Jos Water Services Corporation earlier on, and he has assured that the Jos Bukuru axis will have adequate water supply, and they will ensure that there is minimal interruption of water supply, because the rehabilitation and water production will run concurrently. And there are plans to provide water tankers that will supply water daily to communities for the duration of the rehabilitation, which will last about 13 months. He knows that the project goes beyond the treatment plant. It will also include rehabilitation of staff quarters, offices, waste discharge units, and solar panel as a backup for some of the machines. And our plans are also ongoing for the package B and C component of the project, designed to carry the replacement and extension of pipelines, especially leaking and damaged ones. And those areas within the Jos Bukuru metropolis that do not have access to water services will be connected after the rehabilitation. Back to you in the studio.
Awesome projects, I must say. Water is life. Thank you so much for the update, Ndiyang. Thank you. All right, let's now head straight to Benin Network Center, where Obe here is standing by with reports from that end.
Mina, welcome to Benin. The contracting firm handling the Ramat Flyover project in Benin has been commended by the Edo State Governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, for adherence to speed and specification. The governor was speaking while inspecting the completed substructures for the Ramat Park Flyover in Benin. Good luck, Enaini reports.
Governor Okpebholo, in company with the Commissioner for Works, Dr. Felix Akabwe, Permanent Secretary John Obano, and other government functionaries are on a routine inspection to ascertain the level of progress attained and quality of work done. So far, 14 span of beams have been fixed, while the remaining 8 as part of the superstructure work will be completed before Christmas.
We have finished all the returning work. This side, maybe we'll try to finish it before Christmas, so that we have enough time to do the remaining service and the roof work.
Governor Okpebholo expressed confidence on the contractor to deliver before the agreed completion period.
You can see the place at which they are working. The work is moving very fast. I never expected this to happen this soon. For me, I am very, very happy, and I believe that they will deliver as agreed.
Meanwhile, in a bid to address flooding challenge on the Benin-Auchi Road by the Court of Appeal and State INEC headquarters, Governor Okpebholo and the contractor handling the Ramat Park flyover inspected construction of underground drain at Obaseki Street opposite Western Boys High School on Benin-Agbo Road. The underground bus culvert, when completed, is expected to channel flood from the area to Ikwoba River. Residents of the area described the gesture by the state government as prayer answered.
May God bless you. Amen. What you do for me, that's how God will bless
you. In Benin, good luck in Aini, NT News.
In today's world, technology offers unprecedented opportunities, but not without opening new spaces for violence against women and girls through cyberbullying, online harassment, and non-consensual sharing of intimate images. Therefore, as part of activities to mark the 2025 International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls, as well as the commencement of 16 days of activism, the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, Edo State, has taken the sensitization campaigns to schools and marketplaces across Benin City, the Edo State capital. Joy Egbo reports.
The theme of this year's celebration is Unite to End Violence Against All Women and Girls, which the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development and other resource persons believe that if students as future leaders utilize digital spaces, it will go a long way to inspire their creativity.
So if we catch anyone now and let them know what to do, where to report matters, and to tell them their laws that are guiding them, protecting them, they will know what to do together. In this to ensure that we are living in a safe world.
Students gave insight on the program.
We also have to guard the boldness to speak out. Everyone in the society have the equal rights.
They were also at the State House of Assembly, where the First Lady, Edesili Anami, appeals for more support for women.
What we want is reduction in sexual assault and violence against women. That at the end of the day, we have a society that is free and safe.
Over 40% of young women active online have experienced cyberbullying. These are not just statistics. They represent real women whose voices are being silenced.
Because we have come today, we call back for that law to look at that law. If the penalty there is too light, we will tighten it a little bit.
To mark this year's campaign with a focus on digital safety, series of activities have been lined up to end on 10th December 2025. In Benin, Joy Egbo, NTA News.
And that's it. Nationwide continues with Mina in Abuja.
Many thanks for being here. The National Youth Summit on Drug and Substance Abuse Prevention has taken place in Abuja, where stakeholders believe that the fight against drug abuse in Nigeria requires a whole-of-a-society approach. Moses Ochimu reports.
You cannot grow an economy or a system with drug addicts. This was the reverberating statement from critical stakeholders at this year's edition of the National Youth Summit on Drugs and Substance Abuse Prevention. The summit, organized by the African Youth Initiative on Crime Prevention and the Bureau of Public Service Reforms, aimed at addressing the root causes of substance abuse amongst the youth. Representative of the Director General Bureau of Public Service Reforms, Dasuki Arabi, enjoined parents, caretakers and teachers to play active roles in ensuring that young ones under their care abstain from drug abuse.
This campaign starts from even kindergarten schools, teachers, caregivers, parents in the house. Everybody, all hands must be on deck because it's a menace. And we should stop pretending, we should talk about it.
Issues that drug abuse keeps on escalating is because there are no consistencies like the sensitization here we have to be louder than the voices.
You know, if you accept that drug issue is a problem, then that is the first step of addressing it. It's a huge concern for us. The challenge here goes beyond abuse.
The summit ended with a renewed call to action for sustained collaboration amongst government agencies, civil society organizations, educational institutions, and youth groups in fighting drug and substance abuse.
And just as our next stopover, and Bill Kisu is standing by with reports from that part. Hello, Bill Kisu. Is standing by with.
Welcome to Jos. Plateau State Government has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to collaborating with the federal government, National Assembly and security agencies on ways of restoring lasting peace to the state and nation at large. Governor Caleb Mutfwang stated this at the public hearing of the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on National Security Summit for North Central Zone underway in Jos. Ijoma Ozomina has more.
The summit is a forum for an all-inclusive participation of key players on issues bordering on security operations and their effectiveness, patriotism and collaborations with local communities. Stakeholders say the challenges are not peculiar to Plateau State, but a national crisis that demands collective diagnosis and solutions.
We urge all participants to approach this summit with sincerity, open minds, and a shared resolve to find practical solutions.
The federal government of Nigeria should address the huge problem of internal displacement across the country, especially in the north.
Declaring the summit open, Governor Caleb Mutfwang represented says there is need to implement multifaceted strategies to restore lasting peace, rebuild trust, and strengthen security architecture of the North Central Zone.
On all stakeholders to make very honest and useful contributions that will return Plateau State and Nigeria to the path of unity and prosperity.
Leader of the delegation, Senator Abamuru, who is also the Senate Minority Leader and Chairman North Central Security Summit, notes that the public hearing is an attestation and affirmation that the National Assembly is here to tackle security threats bedeviling the nation.
The resolutions arrived at from this summit will form the basis for a more comprehensive, effective and enduring national security policy.
In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
That's all from Jos. Is back to Mina in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. And moving on, stakeholders in Owerri, Imo State, are calling for compliance to the Persons Living with Disability Act by employing sign language interpreters in the public sector for effective interaction of the deaf in society. Kate Osowa reports.
Discrimination Against Persons Living with Disabilities Prohibition Act, domesticated in Imo State in 2024 as it concerns the hearing impaired, no doubt has given room for the engagement of sign language experts in public space, apart from special schools where the presence of sign language experts makes teaching and learning for the deaf interactive. Their absence in various public institutions like hospitals, among others, poses challenges to the hearing impaired.
From what I have observed, a deaf woman came to the hospital for a checkup, pregnancy checkup, but there was no interpreter there. She sat down there for long and was waiting for her time, but when she started to feel something, her stomach started disturbing her. She fell down and shouting, calling people for help.
They should be employed to work in the ministry and also in every other departments in the state. That is the only way you can communicate. There should be a penalty attached to it.
Concerned persons are hopeful that engaging the sign language interpreters in public offices will, among other things, ensure that the rights of the deaf is protected.
A sign language is very germane, no doubt. Let's at this point go back to Kate Asowa on this call. So tell us the content of this movement, Kate.
Come to Owerri. Discrimination Against Persons Living with Disabilities Prohibition Act, domesticated in Imo State last year as it concerns hearing impaired. When they go to public institutions, there are no sign language interpreters to explain the messages for them. The affected persons want government to ensure implementation of the act to give them a sense of belonging in the society. Here with me is the chairman, Imo State Association of the Deaf, Sochimere Maju.
I want the government to come to our help and provide interpreters in every ministry, schools, hospitals, and make it easy.
Many thanks indeed, Kate. Well, that's the much we can take. Next is sports update.
Nigeria's men's basketball team, D Tigers, will face Tunisia on Thursday in their opening Group C match of the 2027 FIBA World Cup qualifiers. The group also includes Rwanda and Guinea, with Nigeria positioned as the second highest ranked team behind Tunisia. Both teams last competed in the World Cup in 2019, and with just 5 African spots up for grabs at the 2027 finals in Doha, there is little room for mistakes. The team arrived in Tunisia just hours before their first complete training session on Wednesday, as they aim to return to the world basketball stage after missing the last edition. Meanwhile, the Director General of the National Sports Commission, Bukola Olopade, has formally opened the technical session of the Second National Council on Sports, holding in Calabar. The session is designed to establish the foundation for crucial decisions and recommendations that will influence the future development of sports in Nigeria.
We want to see a system where the sports economy is beginning to resonate with our athletes, with corporate bodies, entrepreneurs, where we have a value exchange system between sports stakeholders and potential sponsors from the private sector.
Elsewhere, in football, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has set December 11, 2025 as the deadline for submitting final 23-man squad for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, scheduled from December 21, 2025 to January 18, 2026. The directive gives the Super Eagles a tight window to finalize their squad as head coach Eric Chell assesses player form and fitness, the last having been won in 2013. And finally, Rivers United will look to revive their CAF Champions League campaign when they host Morocco's RS Berkane on Friday, 28 November at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. The Pride of Nigeria suffered a tough 3-0 defeat to Pyramids FC in Cairo in their opening Group A match and will be seeking their first points of the stage. CAF has appointed Senegal's Issa as center referee, with Jibril Kamara and Noha Bagora as assistants, while El Haji Madu serves as fourth official. Kickoff is at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, with fans hopeful that home advantage will provide the needed spark. For sports updates, Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
Thanks, Bright. And that's Nationwide. Thank you so much for your company. I am Mina Daniels.